from Brooklands airfield. The very first prototype, you'll hear more about that as the morning develops, flown by a PWS known as George Bullman, who was, of course, the chief test pilot of the Hawker Aircraft Company, who were based in Kingston and did a lot of flying from here. The very first flight was 75 years ago this very day. So today is very much a red letter day in the life of Brooklands Museum. The other thing that's happening today is that we are celebrating and marking the moment with a display by the Hawker Hurricane. You're very welcome. So the first of this morning's entertainment, much more to come, is that Lord Trefgarne, who is Chairman of Trustees of the Brooklands Museum, together with Duncan Simpson, are jointly going to unveil Brooklands Museum's own restored Hurricane. Here it is, looking absolutely pristine. David, over to you.
Simon said it's exactly 75 years ago today that the Hurricane made its first flight from here at Brooklands. And of course it played a vital role a few years after that in the Battle of Britain, and we celebrate the 70th anniversary indeed of the battle this year. This aeroplane came from Russia, as you have been told, and several of the people who were responsible for the recovery operation are here today, and thank you to them very much indeed. But can I now hand over to Duncan to say a few words, and after that he and I will do the unveiling. Duncan.
And frankly, it's very difficult to know where to begin. But I'd like to just say, for a start, that I saw this aeroplane in its crate as it arrived at Brooklands. And you have no idea the state that that airplane was in. And I think everybody who took part in the restoration to the state you see it in now deserves a tremendous round of applause, because it's a mammoth job to rebuild a thing like this. And the other thing I'd like to say, very briefly, my first contact with the Hurricane was in 1954, when I left the area to join Walker's, and the day I walked into Dunswell, Neville Joker was the chief test pilot. He said to me, first thing you've got to do is to get yourself checked out for the Hurricane. I thought to myself, my goodness, this is a responsibility for my first day at Hawkers. So I went to go with a bit of briefing, Aviation, which I had the pleasure of delivering to the RAF Historic Plant many years later, 18 years later in fact, and it's still flying there today. And I just hope that it be an 865 that will be flying here at Brooklands today. That was the last airplane to be built in 1944, and it's been flying ever since. It's a wonderful day today for us here at Brooklands. Marvellous to be standing here in front of such a distinguished audience with Lord Trefgarne. Now we better do the honours, have we? We've got to be briefed on this.
Good morning, everybody. I think actually now would be a very good time to give a big round of applause, as actually Duncan suggested, for the team that we've got. As I've got you captive, Duncan, before you run away, can you share with us the actual sort of the discreet way in which you managed to actually deliver the last of the many actually to the Battle of Britain Memorial Flight? I remember you telling us about that a little while ago.
I think it's long ago enough to tell the story, yes. I was a bit devious on that aviation because one day in my office at Dunsfield, I was tipped off that our beloved managing director had promised all our airplanes Hurricane, Heart, the Signet, and the Tomtit to the Royal Air Force Museum. I didn't say anything, I just put the phone down. It rang up to her emotions. I said, do you realise that the perfectly sensible Hurricane is going to the Royal Air Force Museum? And I left them to it. I don't know what happened over the next 2 months. The next telephone call I received was to say that it had been given a reprieve and it was to go to the BB&F. So I flew it up to control. And I was met with a flight sergeant who said, good afternoon, sir, what have we here? And I said, it's a Hurricane, flight sergeant, for you. Oh, he said, that's very nice of you. We'll look after it. We'll look after it. And there it is. So many years later, still flying. Thank goodness. The last of the day.
Just losing you there, so at the back, come
coming to fill the gap. Thanks very much.